there was an extra staff member added, I guess,
Yeah.
to the team. Oh, not added, but a return for Mary Habib,
Mm-hmm.
who's, a renowned referee. She's very well respected, and people ask for her a lot, ask for
Yeah.
her to come back. So it was good to see her back in action.
I bet you regretted that.
Well, it was a controversial return.
Yeah, it was.
And that's not to say there were any wrong calls or anything like
Mhm.
that. It was she refereed the Moreland Fitzroy game, the Classico the modern Classico as
Mhm.
we refer to it, and I think she did a pretty good job. But there was one call that has left a lot of talking points, and it was the Ate Ibrahim red card. I can't make a comment on it. I missed it. Cameras missed it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know. Tell me what you know. Tell me what your perspective is, because I'm sure it's the same perspective as many others.
Yeah, it's much like you. I was watching on a live stream, and all I could see was on the live stream. The arm comes up, and you don't see much else after that, and the red card goes up. But because I was watching in my car, I shouldn't say that while I was driving.
Yeah.
But I get to the stadium, and I was talking to the Moreland boys, and they were saying, "Oh, it's already overturned." Obviously, I could hear D-Man having a lengthy chat with Joseph, and even Mary saying, don't be a part-time ref, don't just rock up whenever you want.
Okay.
When
yeah.
in reality, she was probably asked to come down, probably required. And if you want to retain them, you got to try and lure them in somehow. But and then I guess there was an appeal. And which obviously wasn't successful. So it was 1 week.
I'm not sure if there was an official appeal or not, but there was talks about where we would go from here. I'm not sure about the whole.
It was strange to me.
Structure of
Because, look, appealing, from what I understand, wouldn't have been helpful because it's a ref's word against the team's word, and
Because of the
there was
camera situation.
Yeah, there's no cameras catching it. But it's interesting to me that it was only 1 week, in a sense that for what it was either, get him off. So either it wasn't a red card, if you believe one party. So I spoke to both of them. From what Mary explained to me, it's probably like a 3-4 weeker, right? From what D-Man...
Because she explained it as like a very high headlocky sort of tackle,
and
right?
then correct, and then brought him down. Whereas
Okay.
you hear Arte and D-Man's versions of it is like I just put my arm around him and threw him aside. So
Yeah.
it's either
Or like pulled him by the shoulder or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
correct, yes.
Which is the same area, but two very different things.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, it was either like a lengthier suspension or not a suspension at all. I think, they sort of said, okay, we'll just leave it at 1 week and
Mhm.
everyone's happy, but no one was really happy about it, were they?
It's a bit hard because there's so many people on each side, and if you ask like specific people in the situation, you'll know that people have changed sort of
Mhm.
opinions on it. You might speak to someone on the night and they said one thing about the incident, and then 3 days later they've sort of changed their opinion, and it's a bit funny how it's been happening because there's no footage.
Do you think, had that not been a red, Fitzroy been upset that it was not a red?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
you don't think so?
Because they're not used to those calls being made. I don't think any
Yeah.
referee would have called that.
Well, they never make those calls, do they?
Things like that get let go, especially in the big games.
I think that's the biggest issue at the moment as well. We talk about, you have the same refs on the same court with the same players every
Mhm.
week, and the interpretation still varies so much, and the calls
Mhm.
vary so much on like-for-like incidents, and I think that's what frustrates teams and players. I think that's why D-Man and Moreland felt aggrieved, because they might have seen that happen 50 times and probably not even a free kick awarded, and then one day it's a red card.
Right.
Yeah, so that's probably where they're feeling aggrieved.
Yeah. I think I don't think it would have been a red card if anyone else was refereeing. Mary's obviously, she's got a style and a way of doing things, and it's very much it's hard to explain. It's not professional isn't really the term I want, but it's structured. There's no
Mhm.
like bullshit about it.
Yeah.
It's her call, and that's it.
spot on.
It's not. She's
But
not.
It's a frustration. Again, it's the frustration, and I don't know if you would have been here when I got sent off for the handball on the line against Fitzroy.
Yeah, I was actually on your side for that one.
So,
Yeah.
but since then, whatever, I got sent off. But since then, so it was Mary that sent me off.
Mhm.
Since then, that incident's happened against us 5 times, meaning that the other teams handballed it.
The player's been sliding and their
Yeah, and
hand is supporting their body as they go down, and the ball hits
Correct.
their hand,
And
right?
every time, I've been given a different excuse and a different reason why it was different, and it's not true at all. The explanation given is just a complete farce. And then eventually I was told by Michael, your red card was the wrong call. Get over it. I was like, man, we got relegated. I can't get over it. That was what I was told. Yeah. So, in the whole grand scheme of things, if you're a good enough team, those calls don't really affect you too much. You got to be good enough to do it without the refs. But
Of course, yeah.
when you're not good enough and those calls really matter, and when you have such tight seasons like we have had, they're so crucial to, and that's what the teams want. They want that consistency.
Well, that's why I think the Moreland players and coaching staff reacted the way they did, because the red card was to Ate, who was the man of the match up until that point. Anyone will tell you that. Fitzroy players, coaches as well, will
the big red card.
they're happy to concede that Ate was
Influences
running
the
the show that up until that point. So it was a massive call, and obviously I think it was at 2-2. The game turned on its head. Fitzroy had won the game 4-2 in the end. I do think there's a way to go about it. Darren Chaaban was very, he got a red card for, I think it's referred to as dissent, because he was, just
Dissent or
continuing.
abuse?
I don't know. I heard it. It didn't
I
sound
wasn't
too
there.
abusive.
Yeah,
I
wasn't
heard
there,
I heard most of it. I don't know if abuse is a term, but it was like continuous, and it was, he wasn't happy, and he was like heckling the referees in a sense, but it wasn't too abusive. But if you've gone on for too long, the referees deem that you need to go, and I don't think the problem is with D's red card anyway. That they're complaining about. It's more Ate's.
So again, in that situation, like the refs have this tool, which is the team warning and the penalty. Why are we not utilizing that? And that's the frustration you get. It gets utilized sometimes, and then you have other managers who are probably a lot more extroverted than others that say a lot more than some of the other managers and don't get warnings. And
I definitely agree. We could use that.
Just use it.
That warning. There's only one reason. It's there to just make your life easier as a referee to stop hearing that stuff on the side.
Exactly.
And I think it did start was being used fairly well last season, but I don't think we've heard much of it.
No.
As it has Carlton. You guys have been pretty loud. Do you guys get threatened?
No, I got my first team warning on Wednesday against when we were playing when I was coaching the women.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even say anything. I yelled out, where's my foul? I yelled it out because I was the only one in the stadium. It sounded a lot louder than you. It was echoed through the stadium. I get it, but and they said it was the demeanor you did it in. I'm going, mate, I'm telling you, it's only because I'm the only one here.
Yelling.
You're the only one that can hear.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was shocked I got it, but I guess it's from the ref's perspective as well. So
well, coming from this whole situation, coming from this red card, I am interested to hear about the opinions of those that did see it, because it's pretty rare to hear an opinion from someone who saw the actual incident.
And make sure you saw it. And what made me laugh was all the comments on the live stream. You couldn't even see it on the live stream.
That's what's ridiculous.
How could you comment on it? Like, it was,
That I will say.
Like,
was
we're sitting here now, and we both know that we can't really. We can only go off the words of the ref and the players.
No,
I don't know how people were abusing the ref, having not seen the incident. So
they were literally commenting on the live stream from only watching the live stream and seeing the footage that clearly shows that you cannot see. The only people that could have seen the incident were in the stadium at the time watching it live, and so many people missed it. And if you don't know why, it's because the ball was on the other side of the court, on the complete opposite flank, with a bunch of players running towards it. Off the ball was Josh Allen stopping Ate's run, and then the whole pullback happened. Look, wrong call, right call, whoever's.
And it was out of angle for the roof cameras as well.
The security cameras. It was all. It's such a weird coincidence. But at the end of the day, that's what's happened. They could be right or wrong. Interested to hear some point of views. What happened the next week though? Serious Futsal had a meeting where they would discuss the incident, and obviously so much was inconclusive that nothing could really be changed. And the red card was just 1 week. And as you said, it sounds like an incident that could have been either rescinded or 3 weeks off the bat, because it's two extremes. It was either nothing or it was either a severe challenge.
Correct.
So The Moreland party, the Moreland camp weren't happy with it.
Yeah.
Did their post-match interview after a pretty big win against Altona. Big second half. They
Interview.
yeah, they outshone them, and then Christos sat down for the interview, which we've all watched, where he said pretty much we're not doing media for the rest of the season. Put his headphones down, walked out. Siv Karofsky, the commentator, was sort of shocked a bit.
Yeah,
He closed it.
I felt for
Basically.
him because you
Yeah.
know what do you do as a commentator in that situation? But
Yeah,
he followed through.
yeah, he did well to.
I'm
close
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that at all. I mean, you know, you're not happy and you want to you know express that, but yeah, not really sure. You're part of the product. You're providing content
Mhm.
for. You know what? It is good content, so you can't.
Nah, honestly, it's entertaining.
It's
and
great content.
Look at us now, you know.
Yeah.
Get a chance to talk about
So
it.
yeah, it is tricky. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Does the league take action on that? Does Serious Futsal take action on? Is
Look,
there a fine or
An
a
issue I have with the whole thing
reprimand?
is there's no document, there's no or not that I know of. There's no repercussions for people who refuse media. Also, it was pretty unclear at the time. What are they refusing?
Mhm.
You know, do they not want to be on Serious Futsal Media? Do they not, or is it just post-match interviews? I think it's clear now. It's just post-match interviews, which wasn't worded in the
Mhm.
interview
Yeah.
in the post-match interview, but I think with some behind-the-scenes dialogue, it's been
Yeah.
made pretty clear that
Pretty
that's
dramatic
all
though.
there.
It was pretty dramatic, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was pretty well done in
Yeah.
a sense. No stutters from Christos. Put the headphones down
Mhm.
and walked out. So
Yeah, look, is very predetermined, very certain of what they were doing. So
Yeah, it was
clearly,
good.
you know, they all had it sorted as a team what they want, and they've gone with that route. And look, I'm all for action. You know,
Mhm.
I think you know I had a chat with D-Man, and I think all for action because we all want the league to improve. Okay,
Mhm.
but you want to do it without spitting in the face of people at the same time. All right, so
Mhm.
acknowledge it as you know something that's out of your control, that you know circumstances didn't work for you. Acknowledge it, and if you want to do something about it, do. But I don't think that was the best way about it,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I did have a chat. I think I had a chat to D-Man. I think what would be a good idea if the clubs had an association, like a clubs association,
Yeah.
where they can come together, sort of you know band together on one or two or three ideas and bring that to the league and work with the league
Yes.
commissioner and yourself
Mhm.
and Peter
Mhm.
to improve the league and how that looks like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been talked about, you know, but reffing and how much the refs get paid and being able to, you know, lure over other refs is a big issue at the moment. You know, just there are no refs at the moment.
Mhm.
You have what you have. So, you know, would the teams be prepared to pay an extra $10 each a week to be able to bring in a ref,
Mhm.
an extra ref? I don't know. Would the teams be prepared to pay an extra $15 on top of their match fees or whatever to have a court booked out so that they can warm up on it every week? I don't know, but this is something where the teams don't really talk and the clubs don't talk to each other about, and then you can have this appeals process where the clubs can come to the league and say, all right, this wasn't good enough. How are we going to fix it? And have an actual like agreed upon process, and then go from there. I don't think you know denying interviews is really going to get you much.
Yeah.